Britton Smith is hanging around her dorm room when she notices something is apparently laying in bed with her. An invisible force appears to be pressing up and down on the flowery design of her covers, right before her very eyes. I will admit that it's hard to tell if something is on top of the covers or simply underneath, in which case it could be anything and not necessarily paranormal. Britton Smith describes this as a ghost in her dorm room, but I'd like to know if you agree with her or not. A YouTuber named Godiva calls this a bizarre sighting caught on camera, and he's definitely right. The slow-moving shadow figure grows larger as it extends over this house. It's all caught on their home CCTV system, and it's a creepy moment for sure, but tell me if it's a formless shadow person or some sort of insect. This exploration of an abandoned mansion didn't go as planned. A French YouTuber shares this scary video of a very creepy place. As they light some candles, they appear to scare themselves.
Et sur son image, des cendres d'un hérétique. Vous...
Attends, mais y'a rien là.
Les gars, on a trouvé... Je suis en train de faire crever la page. On a trouvé des cendres.
In another room, something similar happens, but it's not clear if they're scaring each other or something external is scaring them.
Attends.
Y'a un gars qui arrive.
Non, non, je déconne même pas.
As they enter one of the rooms, one of the team appears to be thrown back by an invisible force.
Tiens, un truc. Il fait trop mal.
What was down that hallway looks to me like only darkness.
Grave, monsieur, pas de soucis, bonjour.
While this place does give off the creepiest of vibes, this team isn't taking anything seriously.
T'as plus.
So it's hard to tell if the mansion is really haunted, and the crew's fear manifests in jokes and laughter, or if it's not haunted at all. What do you think? I'd like to see this place for myself to decide. Here's a scary basement we should all probably get out of. Published to YouTube by an everyday Canadian in April of 2016. The Canadian says in the clip he heard a banging in the basement that wasn't the washer or dryer. His kids are asleep upstairs, and he's freaked out about the sounds coming from below. As he heads downstairs to the unfinished basement, you hear immediately what he's talking about. A loud bang in the darkness is heard off to his right. Still, he continues to descend. After turning his light on, he scans the room. The light catches a small toy shopping cart in one corner of the room that's apparently not supposed to be there, judging by the man's reaction. The little cart then starts moving on its own before zooming across the room towards him.
What the was that? What the
This is where the video ends abruptly. We hope that the everyday Canadian made it out alive. According to Steve, this area is infamous as the site in which a person who was taking people's lives during the 1950s hid the bodies, and he may have lived in this abandoned home nearby, hidden in the woods. Published by Steve Ronan in April of 2020. The crew quickly comes across some unsavory items. This is an arrangement of bird skulls. Later, they find another piece of animal anatomy. What type of animal is this spine from, and why is it here? I'm starting to wonder if Norman Bates lived here. One last creepy thing they come across are these little figurines. A skeleton and what looks to be Gollum. Is this actually the house of this 1950s maniac? Why were all these possessions left behind? And what is up with the bird skull trophies? I'd be staying far away from this house.
That's creepy. So just some birds, huh? Bird skulls, or maybe mouse skulls?
No, I think it's like a rodent.
Yeah.
Like a family of rodents, but what them right here like this, I have no idea.
Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by BushWookie83, this redditor wrote, "Looks like Mike Myers paying me a visit. WTF is that?" Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Hey man, That was cool. What are you doing? What's going on? You okay? Can I get away? Do you want me to say your room?
There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Duck Consume Bread wrote, "Man, I don't know how you could just sit there. I'd already be moved out, lol." While Neo One Lone Wolf 6985 wrote, "It looks like the reflection of your flashlight on your phone, reflecting on certain parts of the glass, giving off the illusion of a face actually. Looks like the exact same tattoo I have of Michael Myers on my arm. Which side are you on here? Let me know in the comments." When this woman's ex bewitched her, a powerful seer helped extract her from his spell. YouTuber Alberto Del Arco shares this mysterious video. First, the seer does something sort of magic around the woman.
Mente completamente en blanco, por favor.
The woman seems to become overwhelmed as the ritual continues.
O sea, con lo que la trabajaron es con lo mismo que lo estoy quitando. Tranquila. Bueno, pues. Tranquila, tranquila. Tus manos llévalas hacia ti.
As it progresses, the woman appears to expel something from her. In fact, she seems to be dry heaving.
Tranquila, tranquila. Es normal.
Did the seer relieve her of her ex's dark magic? It looks to me that something powerful happened here. It was even made physical. I believe that her ex no longer holds any power over her. Does this internet cafe have some unwanted customers? Redditor Juice173 thinks it does. He explains that he works in pest control, and this internet cafe was one of his clients. After seeing this footage, the owner insisted that he still has rats. Here is the surveillance video. Here's a clip from another angle. It's strange to me that something falls off of the shelf or is pushed right before the entire thing breaks. I would say it's just a matter of shoddy workmanship rather than something paranormal if it wasn't for that. But this makes me think that there's something more complex going on here, and I see no rats. This house is so haunted that no one can last the night. YouTuber Adam Mark Explores tries his best too, but the challenge is more than he can handle. As he asks the spirit to make its presence known, he hears footsteps.
Move one of these chairs. Whoa.
It seems to me like the footsteps are his partners, but they do seem to continue after he stops walking. Later, he is using a recording device when he hears movement behind him.
So did touch my foot then?
Just as Matt feels that something touched him, a Steadicam captures the basement door opening.
But I don't know if it was just me overthinking it. I felt it here, like something, like my jumper moved. But it could have been, I don't know, it could have just been my mind. But
This place is so haunted, no one can last a night. I'm surprised the guys have lasted this long. I sure wouldn't. Number 6. With her camera recording, a girl kneels before a darkened doorway and challenges a spirit to touch her. A light passes over the room and her hair is brushed over her shoulder as if someone is passing through. I find this video hard to believe because that definitely looks like a flashlight coming from the other room, based on the way it hits the wall beside her in a concentrated circular beam. With that said, it still doesn't explain how her hair moved with no one nearby. Let me know if this effect is possible to do in Photoshop, or whether or not you think this is real. If it is real, then I have no idea why she would want to summon something so powerful in her own home. The San Antonio Cemetery in Texas could be one of the scariest places in the world to go exploring if this video is real. A ghost hunter from the Paranormal Journal stands in total darkness when some creepy things are caught on camera, and despite the lack of light, what he experiences is downright terrifying. His paranormal equipment detects movement, and then a single word crackles across the spirit box in an odd, staticky voice. He never shows us exactly where he positioned the motion detection equipment, so it could be detecting his movement or a gust of wind for all we know. But here's something weird. If you look closely, there is a strange phantom light at 29 seconds, the same moment that the motion detection alarm goes off, that soon fades away. I would say there's another investigator, but I think that he might have been exploring the haunted cemetery all alone that night. If so, I have no idea what this light is, and even if it was a member of his team, that still doesn't explain the odd voice moments later that says hello. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by FitEntry2562. This redditor wrote, "Lightning without thunder." Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
I did not know I could just wait to build a fat core.
He's already seen your brother thing. Killing the light.
There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Zoidberg GE thinks that this is heat lightning, while Tillman117 wrote, "There's no such thing as heat lightning. The reason why you can't hear it is because it's simply too far away. The light from lightning can travel a very large distance as the sound cannot, considering clouds can be thousands of feet in the air, and the distance you are from that cloud currently can just mean it's too far away for you to hear it."
Stop or have a few happen from down the short act to their grasses and like for like but so out hard on that one. You thought about some earth in that and does it some green things also what makes it you think like big thing.
So it seems like both sides are at least in agreement that this mysterious storm has an explanation, but nevertheless, what do you think this is? Let me know in the comments. A video has gone viral all throughout Indonesia because it's so scary. According to the uploader, Ari Abdul Rohim, a jinn is about to gain possession over an innocent man. An unseen force pulls his foot and then sits him up. It might be acting, but if so, he's really good. He appears to go into a meditative trance to calm himself down. It appears to work, or maybe the jinn has already moved to new prey. I will admit that this is some of the best evidence I've seen that possessions can be transmitted just by being in the same room. I want to believe they're acting, but it's hard to fake that level of anguish and fear. So either this video is paranormal or a demonstration of how fear is contagious. According to NASA, the Apollo 20 spaceship never left the ground due to a lack of funding. This leaked video, however, says otherwise. Apparently, the mission was covered up after this strange structure was found on the surface of the moon. The leaked video is now referenced to as a moon base. Look closely and you'll see what appears to be an entrance ramp leading directly into the structure itself. It almost looks like some kind of vehicle is halfway up.
The door's triplet. Fairly close to door's triplet.
Let me know if you see the supposed entrance, and if you think that there is any possibility that this leaked video could be real. I think it is kind of a stretch, but I do see what they are talking about. This video was taken somewhere in South America, and it shows a man sitting on a table at a security monitoring station. Little does he know that he too is apparently being monitored, and not by a camera. After a while, this is what happens to him. Even the people reviewing the footage can't believe what they are seeing. Not only does a nearby chair move on its own, but it also moves in his general direction. It's almost as if the ghost is pulling up a seat directly across from him. Unbelievably, the man doesn't seem to notice this paranormal activity unfolding before him. At least at first. He is looking at his cell phone when suddenly it happens again. This time he sees it, and his reaction seems very legitimate as he becomes startled and tense. He looks behind him to make sure that the security camera is recording all of this for later evidence. Then he hops off the table and stares at the chair before him, obviously scared now. He waits for it to move again, but it doesn't, so he goes over to inspect it more closely. This is probably the most convincing part of the video, because he would have seen a fishing line if it was a fake prank. Instead, he picks the chair up, puts it back in its place, and then puts a stand in front of it and gets out of there fast. I'm not saying that this video is absolutely 100% real, but it is certainly a possibility. Will this make you a believer? Redditor Lowbeam is a self-admitted skeptic, but couldn't help but be in awe at what appeared on their grandpa's security camera on the morning he went in for heart surgery. The little halo radiates downward before floating back up again. It reappears later and moves toward the kitchen. Some on Reddit are doubtful it's a spirit or anything paranormal. But others are more apt to believe. Well, I think it could be a reflection of something, like a wind chime. The Redditor said it only lasted over a 25-minute span, so that seems even stranger to me. Personally, I hope it's a helpful presence that might bring the Redditor's grandpa peace of mind. Number 20. A person is making a video in the woods about their fort when they catch something bizarre that leaves them screaming in horror as they run away. An unknown creature charges at them on all fours. At 45 seconds, you can see its arms are as long as its legs. In other words, not proportionate to a human at all. This video, taken in Texas, looks like it could be one of the many Rake sightings that have recently been popping up again across the world. Most Rake sightings show the creature screeching from afar. If that is what's captured here, then this video shows how quiet it can be for the element of surprise. A team of cryptid hunters make a wild discovery deep in the woods of North Carolina. In the Uwharrie National Forest is where they find a mysterious imprint that extends 13 inches long. They think this is not a footprint but a handprint, with oversized knuckles at one end and a wide base of the palm at the other.
Hey guys, I'll show you what we just found. We got us a 13-inch tracker just a little over. It sure did. We got toe prints. We got the break in the middle. Right here. Yes, sir.
I kind of see what they mean, but I'm not sure if this is from a cryptid or not. It kind of looks like where a rock could have been or something. I'm also wondering why there aren't any prints to accompany this alleged handprint, but at the same time, I don't have a solid explanation for what caused this, and was wondering what you think about this extra creepy sighting in the woods.
Well, guys, so far we've found what looks like to be either handprint or knuckle prints again. And we just come across this track right here. So, that's awesome. That is awesome.
This strange sky sighting was caught on camera flying over Bavaria, Germany in broad daylight. I noticed some weird things about the audio, but first, try and translate this mysterious conversation from German to English if you can. I know that 9 means no, but I don't understand what was being asked. Anyway, aside from that, listen again to the weird noise that the object itself makes. I guess it kind of looks like it could be a jet plane, but the wings are too big and it really doesn't sound like one. Tell me if you think this was an experimental aircraft caught on tape or a strange sky sighting of something from another solar system. This is not a drone caught on video, but at the same time, I'm curious as to what this actually is. A man is cooking in his kitchen when a black mist appears behind him. Look for it on the left side of your screen. The man has his back turned and does not seem to notice what's going on behind him. What's especially strange is how the black mist starts to back away from the door when the man heads into the other room. Once the homeowner is safely out of view, the mist turns very dark and quickly darts in front of the doorway. No clear explanation has ever been provided, though I'd like to hear yours. Whatever the thing is, it's never been recorded again since. YouTuber Jasko and his group enter a house known for its evil spirits. The place is also home to a demon, or so they say. Let's see if there's truth in it. When Jasko presses on a piano key, there's a faint whisper.
Just go ahead and do something like this.
Did you hear it? Listen again closely. What was that? As Omar details the home's history, the team is given quite a scare.
However, I am pretty terrified.
Whoa, what the Oh. What do you guys kick the table? No, I literally...
Did he get something wrong or too much right? They tour the home and discover what their next destination is.
Heaven.
Oh. Bro, did you hear that?
Yeah, 100%.
At least they're not going the other direction. In another room, they're talking when they hear what sounds like a woman's voice.
The dark spirit here that doesn't really like anybody. Bro, did you hear that? That sounded like a woman.
Bro, that was out here.
What the
You heard that?
100%. Sound like a hum almost, like a...
What the hell?
Omar suggests that they each take a floor for an hour. When they hear the voice again,
Good idea.
Yeah.
We'll all record separately. Yeah.
Right.
That's nuts. I like that.
Did you hear that? It was like a woman singing right now.
Hold on.
I don't know if it came from upstairs.
later the Spirit app provides a prompt response.
I'm off at this point.
I'm listening to everything.
Oh my.
They're listening, and they must be angry about what they hear.
That was up there. That was up there. Bro.
When James heads upstairs to have a look, this happens.
It's a light. That was a
Ooh. What the Bro, Ah, what No. No, hell no.
James sends the other two upstairs, and they discover something unbelievable.
No, it was closed, bro. They slammed.
These doors are open, James. The doors are wide open.
What? No.
Maybe
No way. No, they both closed.
No, maybe they closed and opened.
Hold on.
Later, James is sent flying.
Oh, You alright, bro?
James. James.
Oh, James, he's like passed out. Bro, are you okay?
The guys get him some water, but he still seems out of it.
Scratch.
Bro,
you alright?
What happened?
They spread out and are now each on different floors. Jasko's floor is particularly haunted.
What the f? That has to be them downstairs. There's no way.
I'd be freaking too if I saw that. When he finally gets the courage to look around the corner again, he sees this.
Hell no, hell no, hell no, hell no. I literally cannot do this. I literally cannot do this. Francis, that's enough. That's enough. All he said was his name, and that's it.
Back down in the basement, it's lights out for James. Or at least, lights not totally on.
Whoa, the light. What? Bro, did you guys just see that? No. What? Bro. No way. No freaking way, bro. Oh my.
Finally, Jasko finds this creepy doll and asks it some questions. Watch the doll's eyes. That thing blinked. If I were Jasko, I'd throw that doll away. Then I'd throw the whole house away. This place definitely doesn't want them here. Costa Rica is full of many beautiful sights. Under your pillow is not one of them.
Scorpion on my pillow.
Still alive?
I'd say it's very much still alive. A gigantic stinger is curled high above at the ready. I don't know if he was sleeping under this terrifying creature all night, but I think he might have been. If so, he's really lucky he never fluffed the pillow. Seriously though, I really want to know what kind of scorpion this is, and how risky this event really was. A woman suddenly disappeared from this home without a trace. Her car is still in the garage. YouTuber Adrian Urbex searches the home to see what clues he might find. When he arrives, he finds the front door and window wide open.
Y'a quelqu'un? Eh oh?
He receives no response, so he enters. Once inside, he finds these mysterious markings.
C'est quoi ça?
And it looks like someone broke into this room with force.
D'accord.
He then comes across this ultra creepy doll.
Ça c'est glauque. Hyper glauque. Je sais pas ce qui lui est arrivé, on dirait qu'il a été éventré. Oh, regardez.
And he hears an unknown background noise.
Il y a un bruit. Il y a une espèce de bruit de fond. Je sais pas ce que c'est. Peut-être quelque chose qui coule.
After a while, he thinks it may be electric, but the lights aren't working.
Je vous jure, il y a vraiment un bruit de fond. Et c'est pas un bruit d'eau, on dirait un bruit électrique. Je vais peut-être tester. Non.
Adrian never does find out what that noise is. Could it be linked to the woman's disappearance? I don't think we'll ever know for sure, but what I do know is I get a very eerie feeling from this place. Number 2, a YouTuber named Savage Mister seems to be able to control the elements with his mind, and this creepy video has some viewers losing theirs in return. Savage Mister waves to the sky, and in that moment a streak of sideways lightning beginning appears to follow his commands. Although it looks like he has superhuman powers, this was actually a total accident. Savage Mister is in the middle of a conversation with his brother, and he was talking with his hands when this once-in-a-lifetime coincidence happened and really shocked them both. A mysterious creature sighted in the woods of Manda, Illinois, has residents wondering if this video is real or fake. It looks fairly convincing upon first glance, but some parts are questionable, like how this looks more like a boot than a foot when it steps out at 22 seconds. At 23 seconds, it raises its back leg up high like a person would. I think if its legs were really that big, then its footsteps would be much heavier and closer to the ground, but maybe I'm wrong. This video comes from the haunted Farside Lounge in Colorado. A woman sitting in the bottom corner is the closest person to what you're about to see, and both her hands are full. And yet this remote seemingly moves all by itself. It's as if something is picking this up, moving it slightly, and putting it back down. Meanwhile, the drink next to it stays perfectly still. She even notices it at the very end. So this is one of those problems that is either completely spontaneous, or where everyone is in on it and plays along. The problem is I don't know which. If you're planning on going ziplining soon, don't watch this video. Captured in Wales in the UK, this video was published to YouTube by Stephen Bromley in September of 2018. The clip reveals many adventurers preparing for their exhilarating ziplining trip, and the zipline does indeed look fun for a while. That is, until Bromley's GoPro captures him starting to slide backwards. Eventually, he gets stuck hundreds of feet above the ground. Bromley explains what happened in the comments, writing, "I was at the time 14 stone, and when I went over the cliff edge, a sudden gust of wind came up and slowed me quite a bit. My brother said it was the size of my head that caught the wind. LOL. Bromley also advises all concerned not to let this video put you off ziplining. He said it was a blast and the staff were very professional returning him to safety. Bayrose H is certain that his house is haunted and claims this video is proof. For some reason, his little dog TJ is always growling at the corner of his bedroom. Bayrose shows that there is nothing of interest in the corner besides some old suitcases. Yet TJ refuses to give up. Eventually, TJ tracks something leaving the room that is undetectable to the human eye. Exactly what this dog was seeing is anyone's guess, but I think it was most likely a spiritual presence of some kind. Perhaps some kind of intense event once took place here and left a paranormal energy behind. Pull a pint with this ghost and YouTube team. Tommy among the tombstones. The paranormal investigators head to a haunted bar, and their chat with the spirits sees some action.
Now, we're gonna try to communicate with you in an older way.
Dude, it's touching it. It's touching it.
Thank you for touching that.
After making their presence known, the spirit amps up its energy.
Dude.
More energy.
What? Oh my
I just got chills.
That seems like a pretty pointed remark through the spirit app, and it turns out the spirit is somewhat disgruntled by their intrusion.
If you don't want us to do the spirit board, touch that.
Leave me alone.
What? What the dude? It does not want us to do this.
I agree, it does not want them here. If I had to guess, this spirit would like to drink his spirits in peace. Number 8. This laboratory is said to be frequented by a spirit who is always near. Here you can see a door pull open by itself with no one standing on the other side. Just in case you were thinking someone could have opened it off camera, here's the same event from another angle, this time taken from the other side. No one is nearby, otherwise they would have cast a shadow on the wall, or else be visible in the reflection of the clean green lab floor. Unless this door is controlled by a button we can't see, then there should be no way for it to open by itself. So what do you think? Is this real or just a staged video cooked up by a bored scientist at work? We've all been there. It's a stormy night. Every sound in the house is an evil entity vying for your soul. That must have been what this man was feeling when he saw this happen in his dining room on a stormy night. The clip shows a man enter his dining room, which appears completely normal. Every chair in place. He enters his laundry room, then casts the camera down the stairs. It appears that something must have happened to cause him to search his house. He says hello down the stairs. Is someone or something there? He decides to go into his basement to investigate. The wooden steps are incredibly rickety. As he's nearing the bottom, a terrifying racket is heard upstairs. He runs for his life, only to find his kitchen chairs precariously stacked up, balanced one on top of the other. The dining room light is swinging around. The shot is still as the man crosses the room and stands frozen in fear at this ominous sight. The overhead light continues to swing, and nothing is there. There's something especially uneasy about the stacking of this man's furniture. Part of that uneasiness comes from the fact that no human could have done this particular building job in the short period of time that the man was away. Who do you think did it? Or what? Multiple cameras capture a UFO hovering over Jerusalem in 2011. The small moving ball of light glides over the building tops for a while, and then does a dazzling aerial maneuver that no human aircraft could ever possibly replicate. I would think this is CGI, but the same event was reportedly witnessed by numerous people who don't know each other. In this second video, you can see the ball of light is over the same domed building as the before and abruptly flies straight up. I will admit that the UFO in the first video looks a little different than the UFO in the second video, but I think the first video was recorded with a digital camera and the second was recorded with a cell phone from almost a decade ago, so that would explain the visual discrepancies. Based out of the southern city of D'Armanville, Exploring Alabama is a YouTube channel that takes on the creepiest abandoned places in the entire state. One such video is an abandoned church that's in the early stages of decay. Inside is a mess but still structurally sound. Some rooms are too dark and creepy for him to willingly go into, so he mostly stays in the more well-lit areas and continues to explore until he gets his share of footage. As he's leaving, something compels him to take one last look in the main room, and that's when he records it. Some are calling this a mysterious creature, while others say this is only a stray cat and nothing more. It's too far away to tell for certain, but I think it's interesting and worth talking about. So what do you think? Here's a question for this video. Human or mutant? Published by Mr. Illusion. I truly hope that this is an illusion. The scary video shows a creature with a very human-like face curled up on the floor. Its body, however, is not human. It's small and extremely hairy with hooved limbs and sharp talons. I wouldn't want to run into this horror in the wild, and I'm pretty sure 83% of people wouldn't either. Only 17% can handle it. I Thought All Dogs Go to Heaven, published by Awkwardly Quiet Gamers in April of 2018. This security footage shows a dark but busy sidewalk at around 2 in the morning. A woman is seen standing to the left. A dog or cat comes into view on the right, as does another lady. They both pass by in the night. That's when the ghost dog comes into frame. Unlike the last animal's starker image, this one is slightly blurred and transparent. It runs along the sidewalk and then disappears out of sight. Meanwhile, the lady is making strange moves along the sidewalk. What is going on here? Is this ghost dog playing one last game of fetch with its owner? I hope that's the case. Julia Merfeld gets into a stranger's car and they introduce themselves.
So I guess you got a little business to discuss?
She is interviewing a hitman for hire. They discuss payment, a good date and time, and the target, Jacob, her husband. The conversation becomes increasingly creepy as they get into the finer details of the job.
You don't want him to suffer, so I'll make it quick and clean. Perfect. I mean, I can do it any way you want me to, but I just want to know how you want it done.
Really, whatever's easiest. If you can get him outside, that would be great. Because it would be messy in the house.
They later have a second meeting finalizing the plan. After showing the hitman a picture of the target, Julia starts talking about why she is having this done.
As terrible as it sounds, it was easier than divorcing him. You know, I didn't have to worry about the judgment of my family. I didn't have to worry about breaking his heart. Stuff like this is like kind of like a clean getaway. I mean, it's gonna.
I'm just gonna take him head on there, and I'm gonna shoot him right in the face. Okay.
Little does Julia know that she is actually talking to an undercover officer, and these two videos contain all the evidence they need to put her away. The judge gave Julia a sentence of between 5 and 20 years. Let me know if you agree with this decision, or if you would have given a harsher sentence. Does this man have an unwanted paranormal roommate? Published in January of 2021, this individual woke up to doors slamming and got up to check it out. The man says this is a frequent occurrence.
My door just slammed again. There's no windows open in the house at all.
As he looks around the house, his roommate, Brad, asks if he's the one slamming the door.
Is that you? No.
He answers in the negative and continues his search, revealing that only he and Brad are home. After a moment, the table in the middle of the living room floor jerks toward him on its own.
You up? It wasn't me, man. I didn't even touch it.
He watches the table for a bit, while Brad seems completely unconcerned and out of it. The cameraman shows that there are no cords around or attached to the table that he could have tripped over. The only cords are to the Nintendo remote controls, but they are in front of the table. So how did this table move so aggressively? There must be spirits abound in this haunted home. A pale-faced creature is stalking the darkness, and YouTuber Terror Alextremo is stalking it back. At first, the creature is barely distinguishable.
No se ve nada, ¿verdad? Es que sí, la neblina está.
But then it can be seen passing behind a pillar, and then around the side of the building. It starts causing chaos, and it doesn't stop. When they try to walk away, it draws them back in.
Uy. O sea, ya hay alguien, Leo. ¿Ya viste?
It's like they're playing a game of cat and mouse, and it's getting more and more dangerous. But what creature is playing with them? They spot it again in the end, but it's just a fragment of the being.
Ay, Leo, allá banco. Ay, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso?
What is this thing? I am not sure exactly, but it's definitely a paranormal entity judging by all the mayhem. YouTuber Han Kardashler confronts a spirit in this scary video. He and his team see something walking the road of this village in the darkness.
Yeah. Uy, bismillahirrahmanirrahim, bismillahirrahmanirrahim, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oğlum o ne lan? Yaklaştır.
They don't get near enough to catch it, but they see it again from the second story of a building.
Azıcık büyüt kanka be. Heh. Dur. La ilahe illallah Muhammeden Resulullah. La ilahe illallah. Ne yapıyor?
What it's doing in the darkness is anyone's guess. They soon see it again though, this time closer. It disappears from its post and reappears at the far side of the road.
Oğlum nereye kaç? Ya bismillah. 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 Oğlum şurada. Kadın camda aşağı. Beyaz şey işte. Oğlum bu nasıl kayboldu? Abi ona bak. Ona bakmak işte.
What is this being? Is it a spirit? Or something even more sinister? It seems like a spirit to me, but I'd be wary of its magic tricks. Okay, here's a weird one. The closet door in this bedroom keeps opening by itself, but before I even get into that, look what happens with the lamp. Somehow the bulb becomes extremely bright and goes back to normal despite lacking a dimmer switch. After that, the closet door swings open seemingly all by itself. Tell me if you see any signs of human interference here, because I see none whatsoever.
There it goes.
And as you can see, there's nothing there.
I thought they were using a hook or something on the bottom right to pull the door open, but when I watched again I saw it was just a power strip running to the lamp. If anything, the door actually moves the strip out of the way, not the other way around. The closet looks too full to hold another item, but who knows what else was in there staring at them from the other side. A YouTuber named Marissa Rachel makes a ghost video update to show what can go wrong when you take your chances with a Ouija board. She thinks her house has been haunted by a ghost for a while, and she sometimes wakes up with strange marks on her body that she can't explain. First, a ghost in her room spells out the word help.
Is this room haunted? Me neither. I'm not moving it.
Well, I'm definitely not moving it. I didn't do that either. Oh my, that's really scary. I want to stop playing.
I can't see a string, and this video is a pretty decent resolution, so one should be visible across the darker parts of the board. That still doesn't rule out a magnet under the table though, so maybe that's how this video was made. I know this plastic pointer doesn't have one, but maybe they've taped one underneath. Otherwise, this scary video must be paranormal. Some haunted places are meant to be left alone. The old Washo Club in Virginia City, Nevada is one of them. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by I'm the Cat Daddy. This video footage explores the Washo Club in one of the nation's first industrial silver mining cities of the Old West. Prospectors arrived during the mid to late 19th century in order to stake their claim, and with money came the need to spend it. That's where the old Washo Club came in, also known as the Millionaires Club. This was a place where anything goes, with one main entrance and two secret entrances to keep the VIP's secret shenanigans under wraps. The Washo Club also doubled as a holding cell for the passed away. At least one room did, as passed on individuals were placed there until gravediggers were able to properly bury. With such a sordid history, of course, myths and legends are abound. 3 ghosts are said to haunt the place. A blonde apparition called the Lady in Blue haunts a spiral staircase. A small ghost girl is somehow lost there. And lastly, a prospector causes trouble around the bar, disappearing drinks that are left unattended, and drinking the shots that the bartenders leave for him when they close for the night. This video doesn't show these full-bodied apparitions, but does unveil a paranormal incident. As the Redditor explains, he and some army buddies decide to explore the Washo Club for paranormal activity. He writes, "We were told by a few ladies who ran an occult store in Sparks, Nevada, to look out for a dark entity named Steve. He apparently likes to close doors in a room called the Red Room. Though not in this video, during an EVP session in the club, they asked for a name and received Steva in response, and that wasn't the ghost's only response. As one of the bros provokes the ghost and asks it to answer them, a nearby door starts to close on its own. The men start screaming and flee the scene. The Redditor says they all felt Steve's presence in the club, and he continued to slam doors as they collected their gear. They also felt their jackets being tugged on, and a finger ran up one guy's back. I was thinking you probably shouldn't provoke a ghost like this, and many in the comments agree with that statement, while others who also investigated the club attest to similar paranormal happenings there. Is this place next on your paranormal bucket list? I think I'm gonna stay very far away from this place. Something is buried in the debris of this house. Published by Proving Demons in December of 2021, these paranormal explorers couldn't last the whole night in this very haunted house. Immediately upon entering, they see that this house houses some strange stuff. They soon start to hear creepy noises as well.
I know, so just stick close to me. Shh. What was that about?
They also think they hear walking upstairs.
Yo, is there somebody in here?
As they're looking up the stairs, they start to hear a woman's voice humming. They don't encounter whatever is making the noise, but later as they're about to use a paranormal device, they hear another strange sound. A second sound follows as they're trying to make their way through all the garbage to leave.
Just come with me.
They managed to get out of the place, and maybe just in time, YouTuber Hey Charmaine began posting about her experiences in her home. As her story unfolds, so does a terrifying truth shared by YouTube channel The Gravedigger. This scary video shows how Charmaine's horror story escalated. It all started with this strange object she found.
And, I got a pack of Pepperdine like 10 years ago, but it's modeled after the Bodhidharma, and I don't usually take it out.
After setting up security cameras in her room, she captured things moving unexpectedly. A few days later, while the dog was sitting for her friend, this happened.
Why are you whining, baby? Cooper, what are you staring at? There's nothing in the hallway.
Later, she captured a figure watching her home in the darkness of night, and then heard something inside.
I assume that like
After deciding to go stay at her parents' house for a while, things escalated. Watch the doorway behind Charmaine.
You've been really nice enough to like let me stay there, and
What was that thing?
oh my god.
I'm not sure what this figure is, but it seems to be related to the mysterious object that Charmaine found. With all these strange events unfolding, Charmaine has lasted a lot longer here than I would have. The Southern Arizona Ghost and Paranormal Society teams up with fellow ghost hunters, the Mission Creeps, to investigate the ever-so-haunted Oliver House in Bisbee, Arizona. 26 people are said to have lost their lives here over the years, the most famous being a man named Nat Anderson, whose wife disposed of him with 2 rounds after learning of an affair. Now gathered in the historic bedroom of the Oliver House, they call upon Nat Anderson and possibly get a response.
Somebody told us that Nat Anderson was here. Is Nat still here?
This is one of the clearest paranormal voices I've ever heard. It sounds distant, yet in the same room as them. I'm wondering if this was edited in, and I'm especially looking for the opinion of any sound technicians. Here it is one more time. Maybe it's just me, but I'm detecting a hint of sarcasm in the voice, so maybe it was Nat Anderson being funny by saying he wasn't there, or maybe it was a different ghost who is tired of this question altogether. While entering a deep dark cave, these brave souls nearly left their skeletons behind. Good gravy, what is that? You can see the creature momentarily as they enter. But for some reason, this encounter doesn't send them running for the hills. And then, not long after, this happens. That hissing is somehow more terrifying than a deafening roar, and the figure's features are equally horrifying. The fact that they didn't leave on the first sighting of the creature makes me think this is fake, but as we only caught a glimpse on camera, maybe they just didn't see him in the darkness. If it is acted, then it's an incredible fake. Under the ancient city of Taif, Saudi Arabia, is a scary haunted cave tunnel that you don't ever want to go exploring by yourself. Famous ghost hunter Abdullah Al-Anbari has made a career out of fearlessly exploring such haunted places, but the question remains, will this haunted place scare him? So far, he's kept his cool among some scary things. Exploring the tunnel some more reveals that it's been walled off, and yet just when the ghost hunter decides to turn around and go back, something paranormal beckons him to stay. The cave is suddenly filled with scary noises and a strange mist that wasn't there moments before. He waits for some more activity and finds nothing. Apparently, he is braver than the ghosts once more and leaves victorious. This video could be paranormal unless they somehow figured out a way to get on the other side of that wall to make the noises themselves, though I don't happen to see one. This 2009 video is some of the earliest and most bizarre evidence of the weird and mysterious lights at the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, which is considered a hotbed of paranormal activity all around. Perfect spheres of lights like this one often are sighted in the sky or sometimes on the ground. Strange lights that have never been explained. The mysterious lights don't look like anything made by a person because they are almost as tall as a tree and extremely wide, much bigger than even the largest of spotlights. This next video, taken by the uploader's brother shortly after spending a day at the Skinwalker Ranch, shows an object moving on its own in their basement.
Swinging for 15 minutes now.
More unexplained lights have been haunting his basement. Did something paranormal follow them home? A remote-controlled robot is inspecting a 42-inch sewer pipe for anything out of the ordinary when it comes across a creepy find that will make your skin crawl. The water looks relatively clear at first, but then the camera operator looks down in time to see a wriggling mass of giant worm-like creatures the size of snakes. They are piled up so high that they almost breach the surface. I have no idea what these are, nor do I have any idea what so many are doing down here. Someone please help me identify what these creatures are, and while you're at it, let me know what the odds are of one climbing through the sewer pipes and into my home. Unknown creatures can be startling, but none more so than this one. This clip submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by KidRob97, wondering what in the heck this creature is. Suggestions in the comments range from a bat to a giant flying squirrel to a calago, which is a flying lemur. Knowing what it actually is wouldn't make this footage any easier to watch. The creature is making one of the most agonizing sounds the human ear has ever heard while it bounds across the ground, hopping and unable to fly. The people have somehow caught the animal, which is tethered to a stick. If you've never seen this type of creature up close, this isn't the way you'd want to encounter it. People in the comments wonder if the animal somehow got stuck on this branch. However, the poor creature ended up in this position. I think we can all agree with Lisa's Matrix that this is just heartbreaking. Did a spirit just drift out of this possessed doll? Published by Paranormal Nightmares in March of 2022, the uploader writes, "My daughter said in the night our cat scratched on her bedroom door. He never does this. We checked security footage and captured this. This video shows a strange gray mass floating out from one of these creepy dolls. It looks like smoke or mist. The cat obviously sees it and soon tears off. Did we just witness a spirit exiting? Whatever it is, it made this guy a scaredy cat. This poltergeist is throwing a tantrum." Published by Derek Hull in February of 2021, the angsty geist is first seen slamming a door in the cameraman's face. Exhilarated that he caught it on camera, the man races to the door and opens it, finding no one inside.
Yes, I caught it! What the heck?
He runs back through, asking the poltergeist to repeat the action, but the door remains open. One of the crew enters the room while the others stand outside, watching the door. They approach and the door closes again. It isn't clear if the other crew member was inside the room, as there was a cut in the video. It doesn't seem like he exited. They apologize for angering the poltergeist and say they will leave.
Alright, I'm gonna open the door and that's it. We're gonna leave, okay? Sorry for off.
But that's not without one last slam, this time coming from some shutters off to the right, I assume.
Oh, that's just right there by the blanket to the left of it.
Is this spirit moving around them, or is it all encompassing? Two unexplained videos have captured a strange sighting of a humanoid figure floating over Phoenix, Arizona. Anyone know what that is? Writes one of them in a Snapchat video posted on March of 2020. So far, no one has any idea. The uploader goes on to explain that they were in their backyard when a mysterious figure silently floated over them, an all-black outline with what they describe as wings in the middle. While I do see what he's talking about, I doubt they are wings because they are not moving. It looks more like a jetpack or something, and yet I don't see any exhaust, so it's probably not that either. An experimental drone or a weather balloon would be my next guess, and if it's not that, then maybe it's a kite shaped like a person. With that said, it's been over a year, and the strange sky sighting videos over Phoenix are still without explanation. The mystery is unsolved. A woman approaches a home she does not live in and immediately tries the door without knocking. Notice her mouth open a little in surprise when she sees the doorbell cam. It looks like she is in big trouble and knows it. I have little doubt that this woman would have taken whatever she could if the door was unlocked because, according to the description, she apparently tried the door just 10 minutes after watching the owners leave. She's also wearing jogging clothes and appears to be trying her best to blend in. Most neighborhood residences probably wouldn't take a second look at her. Who knows how many times this routine has worked for her in the past. According to the description, this video has been sent to the authorities, so I really hope she gets caught, or at least comes up with a good explanation as to what she was doing here. If you don't want poltergeists keeping you up at night, you might want to erase that pentagram on the wall. Published by Seeker of Ghosts in December of 2021, a demon poltergeist is captured in action in the scary video. The crew enters the apartment to find a red pentagram drawn on one wall with unusual symbology drawn around it. It seems like whoever was here before was welcoming demonic activity with open arms, and the demons obliged. In one clip, a doll spins around on its own, sliding very quickly across the floor. Later, a string that's hanging across the room appears to be cut by something invisible. And then, the most shocking evidence, a stool flies across the room, scraping over the floor. Are the demons responding to the pentagram? What are they trying to tell these ghost hunters? I think the best decision is to get the heck out of there. A ghost hunter named Solo Ambush goes exploring an abandoned morgue in the woods full of creepy things. The place has been deserted for years, but the smell of bodies has buried itself into the morgue walls. This table surface must be where they were prepared for burial. On it, he finds a needle to sew whatever shut. He puts it in his pocket, which possibly upsets the spirits because that's when the paranormal activity begins. He puts an object on the table and invites any spirits nearby to make it move.
Ada lagi. Dia sudah mula bunyi.
A defiant spirit moves things behind him instead. When he goes to investigate the noise, he finds nothing, and then he gets an idea.
Okay, let's switch off the light.
A figure in red silently passes across the floor of the haunted, abandoned mortuary with its head down. He runs after it and finds only the stench of decay is left in its wake, nothing else.
Bau busuk lagi.
He says this ghost sighting could be a reflection of light, but he is standing in a dark hallway with the lights off, so I'm not sure I agree with that one. Like many of the previously haunted places he's gone exploring in the past, what he's caught on tape in this building is most likely paranormal and terrifying. And as he leaves, something slams the door closed behind him. The ghost hunter is no longer welcome to go exploring this haunted place. Not that he ever was to begin with. Published by Urban Ghost Hunters in February of 2020. This paranormal crew investigated a haunted 19th century church in rural Tennessee with urban legends surrounding it, involving dark rituals from the 60s onward, and reports of shadow figures and disembodied voices there. It was ripe for investigation, and the crew wasn't disappointed. After placing a Bible on the candlelit railing in the church, something in there was angered by it. I guess this church lives up to its haunted reputation. Has anything creepy ever turned up on one of your home videos? YouTuber Tink spotted something that stood her hair on end while watching hers back. See if you can spot it. Did you see it? Something scurries past beyond her shoulder to the left. Watch closely. Let's see it again, more slowly this time. Tinks says she was home alone at the time. I feel like it moves too quickly to be anything of this dimension. Is it something from another world? Let me know what you think in the comments. A very similar sounding shriek to the so-called cougar. This one claims the sound is coming from none other than a monster from traditional Latin America folklore known as La Llorona. According to legend, La Llorona was the unloved mother of her 2 sons. Her husband loved his sons more than her, and also had an affair with another woman, causing La Llorona to break. She is said to have taken the lives of her 2 boys in a river in a rage, following them in grief by taking her own alongside their bodies. Now she wanders the earth in search of the souls of her sons. The terrifying wailing of her grief is heard throughout Latin America. Those who hear her cries are said to face misfortune or even have their lives taken. So maybe just to be on the safe side, turn down the volume for this one. Published to YouTube in September of 2018, the horrifying demonic scream at the start of the video definitely doesn't sound human. In fact, it makes you want to urge whoever is filming to get someplace safe, fast. Instead, he films outside on the rain-filled streets at night as La Llorona screeches demonically in an animalistic cry. Shortly after, a more human-like women's weeping is heard. The man approaches the phantom voice in the darkness. It's difficult to make out a figure in all this, but he speaks to her, and she responds, which makes one think this is a real human woman making these sounds, not La Llorona after all.
¿Tienes dulce? ¿Tu esposa?
After a while of the man chatting back and forth with her and then answering his radio, the woman falls silent. Barry in the comments says, "I understand Spanish. She seems to have multiple personalities. Was that inhuman sound made by a human person? Someone with multiple personalities? Perhaps someone possessed? Or is this La Llorona in the flesh?" There is a demon in this abandoned house, and Dimitri from A Sip of Fear is about to face him. Inside the kitchen, he finds a strange trapdoor in the floor. But before checking out what's down there, the demon tells him he's here.
Я здесь.
Кто ты?
He starts to grow paranoid. And later, a stationary camera captures some activity. The demon seems to be a one-hit wonder. And he tells Dimitri that he's too late. Then the lights go off.
Ответь. Ребят, короче, там походу все отключилось. ПГФу так больше не ответил.
Apparently, he's told Dimitri to leave, and this time Dimitri listens. I find the slamming doors were the most intense part of this visit. The demon wouldn't have to tell me twice. I would have left after the first warning. Breaking into a vehicle under the cover of darkness is common. Doing it directly in front of the car's owner, not so much. Published by Doorbell News in October of 2021. This crazy thief must have been seriously desperate. A woman is sitting outside her home in Phoenix, Arizona, talking on her phone as a toddler toddles around, doing baby things. While chatting, she looks up from her phone to find a man breaking into her friend Bubba's vehicle right in front of the house.
Hey! Hey! What are you doing? Bubba, is that...
The entire creepy event was captured on a Ring doorbell camera. You can vaguely see the man's white shirt as he approaches and then breaks into the vehicle. He didn't technically have to break anything as the car was open. The woman alerts her friend inside, who rushes out to see what's going on. The guard dog sets off a 12-bark alarm. Thankfully, the man wasn't able to take off in the vehicle before the police were called. In the description, the woman notes that he was taken into police custody. Definitely one for the books in my opinion. You don't see this every day. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.